Morning. Did you take my pen?
No, I was carried too.
Alrighty. So we've got minutes for the 11th and the minutes for the 16th. Do we have a motion? Second.
Mr. Claypool?
Yep.
Mr. Spiller?
Aye. And Dave?
Yes, let's see,
You have
got,
everything you need. Do you have
okay.
financials?
I have the financials, I mean, I have a summary of all the other actions here. So the financials, from October 17th, resolution 18-138. There was an encumbrance had to be put through that I approved, a travel request from the Common Police Court Technology to attend the 2018 Ohio Digital Government Summit. And then the next item on the agenda, number 4, approved on October 18th, the Water Resources, the hiring of William Whitehouse to the position of wastewater plant operator, number 2326, to be effective November 5th, 2018, at the rate of $20.94 per hour with a 1-year probationary period. This offer of employment is contingent upon successful completion of the required pre-employment conditions. On October 22nd, for the, on behalf of the board for the Airport Authority, I acknowledge and approve reimbursement request number 1 for FAA grant project number 3-39-0054-020-2018 to install runway 11/29 lighting, taxiway connector lighting, install runway 11/29 and identifier lights, install precision approach path indicator, that would be PAPI, and install beacon and lighted wind cone in the amount of $25,576.10, which is $23,018 FAA portion and $2,558.10 local county match. I also, on your behalf, concur with Newbury Township trustees in not requesting a hearing on a liquor license requested by CFSF Holdings LLC, located at 10760 Kinsman Road, Newbury, Ohio. Permit number CNEW 1171216-005. And finally, for transit, approved and executed the Ohio Motor Fuel Tax Refund Claim for transit buses for the period July 1, 2018 through September 30th, 2018, the amount of $3,278.07.
How you doing, Adrian?
Pretty good, how are you?
Good, good.
Good. Okay, today's financials include a cash transfer from the general fund to the Department of Development, Community and Economic Development for their fourth quarter 2018 funding request, and a cash transfer to Court Technology Fund for a portion of their 2018 funding. Encumbrances include an encumbrance increase from the Commissioner's Office to NOACA to cover remaining payment due for 2018. Travel requests from the Auditor's Office to attend the 2018 CAAO Winter Conference in Dublin. Travel requests from the Commissioner's Office to attend the 2018 CCAO Winter Conference in Columbus. Travel requests from Common Police Court to attend the Ohio Chief Probation Officers Association Personal Security Training in Columbus. And a travel request from Job and Family Services to attend the 2019 Advanced Computer Voice Stress Analysis Examiners Conference in Orlando. Vouchers include $28,475.50 from the Department on Aging to Junction Buick for a new 2018 GMC Terrain to be used for out-of-county medical transportation. $65,673.33 from the Commissioner's Office to the Ohio State University for their fourth quarter county funding commitment for 2018. This is for the OSU extension. $28,048.41 from the Engineer's Office to Cargill Paving Company for their pay request number 2 for the asphalt resurfacing of Clarendon-Troy Road sections A through C, and $143,937.25 from the Juvenile Court to Portage Geauga Joint Juvenile Facility for their fourth quarter cost-sharing commitment. And finally, a revenue certification from Transit to recognize the additional revenue received from Lake Transit.
Second.
Mr. Claypool? Mr. Spiller?
Aye. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
You don't take the notes, but I have to. Okay,
Okay, so the judge is not coming today.
She's good at it.
Number 7, Sheriff's Office. Morning.
I thought maybe she trained you over the
How you
years.
doing?
This is the victims of crime act.
That's with him here. You haven't seen him yet.
Assistant, difference between ours and all the other ones in the county is ours is available 24/7 and responds to the scene to assist the victim.
Sounds good. Do we have a motion on that one?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Claypool? Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Alrighty, thank you. Have a good day.
Two.
Alright, so there's that one. Oh, that's just this one here.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
Do you want me to do the first three?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. The first few that we have is for the notice of award, notice to proceed, the contract, notice to proceed for Mark's Building Company for the airport restroom ADA renovations. This is like phase 2 of a project that we did 2 years ago with our allocation grant. We did the entryway, now we're doing the restrooms to make them ADA compliant. And the notice of commencement as well for Mark's Building for that project in the amount of $46,614.
Okay. Alright. Do we have a motion for those?
So
Second.
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
just curious, what was the total cost on the bathroom renovation?
The bid came in at, the lowest and best bid was Mark's at $46,614.
Is that the total cost? Was there
Yeah.
additional activity?
That's
and-
okay.
There shouldn't be unless we have some kind of a, change order that comes through later on if they run into an issue, but that should be the final cost of it. There's always that chance.
So that's for the airport. And that's for the back part over there?
It's for the restroom, when you walk into the new entryway, into the lobby part, and also the restroom in the hangar. Both of those restrooms they'll now have a men's and a women's, where before they had like a members and a public. Yeah, now there will be a men's and a women's.
So we're gonna probably have to take it back, given the culture and where it's going.
Yeah, really, it's
Well,
almost
from
like we're
men's and women's
stepping back.
to neutral to self-identified bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I
So
don't know.
how much are we gonna have to spend to do that?
I don't know, we'll have to see how Hood comes out with that one when we apply for the grant for that one.
So are you guys gonna, we're having the airport come in, are you guys gonna stick around for that too?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Okay, the next one we have is satisfaction of 3 mortgages for Heidi Love. Heidi Love was part of our down payment rehab program. There were 3 mortgages placed on the property. She is refinancing, and the mortgages will now be satisfied, just paying in full.
Okay, thank you, Heidi.
Want me to read it, or you wanna just, do
So
There you go.
I have a second?
I
Second.
was always used to, that was my key, you read it and then I would approve. But now we're not reading it, and so it's throwing me off.
Yeah, it was not me
I
on
never
there.
really know when to say it,
The other day when I was
All you
like,
gotta say is so
I'll
moved.
Stuff it, and I was like, whew, all right.
Yeah.
Just change the routine, I'm a creature of routine. So.
That would be the president. Commissioner Claypool?
Yes.
Sorry.
Hey, no problem.
Can't get up yet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wait for the
Now you
vote.
can get up.
All right, now you can get up.
It's all about routine, baby.
Me too.
Okay,
So the trains in the town hall are up and running?
Not yet. We're just getting the boards and everything set up.
Okay, I gotta get down there, I wanna see it this year.
Yeah.
So Roger, I gotta ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
So my son is in the Marines.
Okay,
He's in NSA.
okay.
I was having a conversation with him over the weekend. He owns a couple of drones.
Okay.
And he flies them personally. I don't know if he does anything with the Marines with them or not, but he was telling me he's no longer downloading software, and he has DJI whatever drones, because the downloaded software prevent him from flying in certain places. So now the government's actually controlling your drone through the software downloads that are being created. Are you guys experiencing any of that?
A lot of the software downloads are just updates to the geofencing.
Mhm.
So like, if you get too close to the airport, you can't physically take off. That's the only thing that we've seen so far. However, we flew at Middlefield, and there was no, I've got the latest software and firmware, and we flew, actually, we drove straight down the runway and flew.
Yeah.
So,
He was telling me he can't fly around parks. I mean, a lot of the updated software is actually preventing him from using his drone in certain places, which actually is kind of amazing to me. In addition to that, apparently that's a Chinese-developed technology, and all the pictures and stuff that he takes are sent back, are collected back in DJI, and so he stopped connecting with them because of that.
as long as we don't connect Alexa to the drone, so that way they can't hear what we're saying.
That's
And
right.
I mean, I was kind of surprised, actually. We had a nice long conversation about drones and
Mhm.
some of that technology, and some of that you don't even think about.
Right.
Like the government downloading updates into your drone to control where you can go and all that kind of stuff. So, and he's in the
His
government.
son has your name though, right?
What's that?
His son has your name, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There's that.
There's that.
That's why he's on the
Yeah.
radar. Now it makes sense.
It's on the watch list.
That's right.
He'll watch this.
Big brother.
Oh, boy. So number 12 is the matching funds for our EMPG grant that we get for DES. And what that does is the $79,500 pays for approximately 50% of our payroll and benefits. So then we need the matching funds to take care of that. But that's just one of the grants that we get, so.
Okay. Do we have a motion on that?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Claypool?
Mhm.
Commissioner Spillier?
Thank you.
No, thank you. Morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
First item on this, on the agenda for us is just an increase to one of our service contracts with the Berger and Associates. We're adding VFDs to our booster station in Bainbridge Township, Country Lane, and we need them to do some additional work that we weren't necessarily expecting them to do here.
What's a VFD?
Variable frequency drive.
Oh,
So allow us to ramp up the pumps and ramp down the pumps as
Okay.
so we can.
Remotely.
We're actually be able to start controlling some of the pressure in the water system.
Yeah.
From the booster station as opposed to what it has been doing is turning pumps on and then filling the tower. And then we'll shut off and the tower will provide the pressure in the water system. These will allow us to actually provide pressure utilizing the booster station. So we can take the tower offline. We can have, a situation we had a few years ago where we had a water main break. The car came over the hill and
Yeah.
hit the fire hydrant. The fire
Right.
hydrant didn't snap off like it was supposed to and went all the way down and busted the water main. Or put the system, basically put our entire system down.
Drained the tower, right?
Because it drained the tower, so we
Yeah.
didn't have the pressure. And where it was on the line was the one location where everything had to go through. So this will allow us to, at least if the tower has to go offline or that area has to go offline, we'll still be able to provide pressure to the rest of the system.
Pumps.
Yeah. And you're doing that remotely?
Hmm?
You're doing that remotely?
Yes.
It's not
We have-
Chinese written software, is it?
Not that I
In
know.
case they wanted to back up our toilets or something, I'm just saying.
So when the fire hydrant gets hit, then you can just shut off that hydrant by itself, right?
We can shut off the line and still be able to provide the pressure. So right now, the water system, the way, as I was said, the water system in Bainbridge was done by lawsuit and by emergency. So initially it was brought in because Canyon Lakes sued the county to bring water into the county for their development. That was the initial part of it. And then they had some issues up at Knowles Industrial Park, so the water line got extended up there. The issue is that we have one single umbilical cord line that runs from Chagrin Road, Chagrin Road up to Knowles Industrial Park. It runs up through the valley. That's the only source of getting water up to Knowles Industrial Park in Washington and 306. So if something happens to there, our tower's up in Knowles Industrial Park. So if something happens to that line, we would lose everything. And now with these booster stations, we'll still be able to provide water and pressure
I see.
to Country Lane and Canyon Lakes and then Bainbridge Road and that area.
I see. Huh. Interesting, okay,
Because our water tower was built 30 feet low.
Yeah, too low, yeah.
okay.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Claypool?
Mhm.
Commissioner
Aye.
Spillier?
You can't put it up on stilts.
And Mayor Vernon?
We've actually looked at different ways of validating it to cost, it's not, it's not
This was
cost
the-
effective
This
to
was
do.
the added one back on.
Okay,
The next item is just a reimbursement through OPWC for our trunk name project. Again, this is one of those, OPWC is our loan, we're getting our loan and grant through them for this, so we pay the contractor and then request reimbursement. This is the
Okay.
reimbursement.
So moved.
second.
Commissioner Claypool?
Mhm.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Jerry. Okay, we have point to appoint Aaron Hebner to the Northeast Ohio Community Alternative Program, NEOCAP Facility Governing Board.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner
Yes.
Claypool? Commissioner
Aye.
Spillier? This is a reappointment, and it'll go through 2021.
Who do we have for 16, Dave?
Well, this is, Christie is the real, she is the county expert now on annexation, so I'll turn that over to her.
So is this with the church with John Hunter?
Yes. Yes.
So
Here's a copy of the amended petition of paperwork that we had filed.
So basically, the gist of it from reading through it, they had applied for one thing, then changed and applied for something different, and then we're basically moving to accept that change.
The original petition was filed as an expedited type 1, and unfortunately, it was not a valid petition for an expedited type 1 annexation. And so I sent it immediately to Laura and Andy. When we received it, Laura contacted the attorney representing the church, and they submitted the letter on the 24th of September saying that they were seeking to leave to amend the petition that was filed. Instead of withdrawing it, they're asking to amend it. And then they resubmitted that petition on October 15th. We received it on the 16th. That changed the heading of the annexation from an expedited type 1 to a regular annexation. They included a map and additional church meeting minutes where they appointed Mr. Hunter as the agent official representative on behalf of the church through the process of the annexation. I submitted that once it was received. I forwarded it to Laura and Andy from the county engineer's office, and Andy will be submitting a report on the accuracy of the legal description and the map that was provided. They utilized a legal description and a plat map from the survey from when the consolidation happened, from when it was consolidated into the 15-acre parcel. So that is, the accuracy of that is what is being looked at as to whether it's a viable map and legal description. We can move forward with acknowledging it and then entering it on the journal. And then depending on what the accuracy from the county engineer's office on those are in their report, they can always come back and amend it. It will not affect the moving forward with the annexation. It is a lengthy process for a regular annexation. Along the lines of the ORC, we cannot hold a public hearing until 60 days after the petition was filed. So that puts us to December 18th to hold a public hearing, and then within 90 days of receipt of the petition, the commissioners have to make a decision as to whether to annex or not. That 90 days falls on January 14th, and so the meeting that would be prior to that, where they would have to make a final drop dead decision, would be January 8th.
Okay, why don't we read 16 then through 19 and
Okay.
get this, see, on record with
Okay, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board acknowledge that the petitioner initially filed a petition for annexation as an expedited type 1 on September 19, 2018, and the Board received a letter on September 24, 2018, notifying the Board of the petitioner's intention to seek leave to amend the petition's title and proceed as a regular annexation under ORC 709.02 to provide supplemental documentation relating to the petitioner's authority from the church and to submit a new map or plat. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board grant or deny a request for leave to amend the petition for annexation with a corrected heading, map, and additional church meeting minutes filed October 16, 2018 by petitioner United Methodist Church of Middlefield. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board formally acknowledge receipt of the amended petition for annexation, regular annexation, filed by petitioner on October 16, 2018, and enter the petition upon the Journal of the Board as required by ORC 709.03, and further acknowledge that on October 16, 2018, the legal description of the perimeter and the map or plat was referred to the County Engineer's Office for a report on accuracy. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board set Tuesday, December 18, 2018 at 9:30 a.m. to hold a public hearing regarding the petition filed by the United Methodist Church of Middlefield for annexation of 15 acres in Middlefield Township to the Village of Middlefield, and shall also notify the agent for the petitioner of same. This public hearing will be held in the Commissioner's Chambers at 470 Center Street, Building Number 4, Chardon.
I got a couple of quick questions. I just brought up the Ohio Revised Code on this. Is there a requirement for this to be run by the Planning Commission?
No.
Have you talked to the folks that are doing the annexation?
The church,
Yeah.
I personally have talked to Mr. Hunter prior to this being filed. He had originally contacted Ralph initially, then he called me, and I unfortunately am not able to give him any direction as to the type of annexation that he can move forward with. All I can do is direct him to the section of the code, and that I made the suggestion that he get in touch with an attorney to help him through the process, because this is my annexation book of all the different types of annexations that there are available that you can do. And Mr. Hunter also came to session and addressed the Board the one day inquiring about the annexation. And again, that was the day that I put all of you guys in a bubble, basically, because you ultimately have to make the decision. And I know that Mr. Favorite and I talked to Mr. Hunter after session, and again, tried to direct him that he needed to, legal counsel is what they needed to do to assist them through the process, because it is a lengthy process. A regular annexation puts a lot on the agent for notification of property owners and of a public hearing and that kind of stuff. It does not fall on the county, it actually falls on the agent. And then he has to report items to us.
But part of the reason for bringing it up, I don't know if anybody's talked to him or what our obligations are on this, but if his sole intent is to get services from Middlefield, which I'm assuming that's what it is.
I have a feeling that's what it is.
Then this whole it doesn't need to go through this whole process. He could set up a contract with Middlefield for services. He doesn't have to annex the property. If what he wants is sewer and water from it, then he just gets hold of
I thought that was Middlefield's, I thought Middlefield required anyone wanting it to be annexed into the village.
well, that may be. I mean,
I think that's right.
They may want that, but it's not a requirement. I mean, if they wanted to, if the attorneys are good, they can negotiate a deal with a contract. Legally, they can have a contract. They don't have to annex.
The only exception I know to them doing that, I know that when GMHA's Cloverdale development went in there, that was in the township, and they ended up needing the connection, and I think they negotiated a settlement with GMHA where they had to pay quite a bit of money to Middlefield for the tie line. So it can be done, it's just whether a church has the will to do it.
I mean, generally speaking, the city's interest in that is that they get taxes off the property, but it's a church, so they're going to be taxed anyway. So it might be mitigating circumstances.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking in terms of the interest of the church, if they wanted to accelerate this, and if the real interest is just getting services, then they might find a different route be more beneficial. I mean, I'm not going to get in the middle of it, but if somebody were to bring it up to them, it might help them. Yeah.
Included in the petition is a resolution from Middlefield Township from last year where they were in agreement to the
Allow the
annexation.
annexation.
there was a memo that was included in there from Mr. Garlick, said that the Village Oaks Middlefield was open to conversation. So it wasn't a formal approval, it was just that they were open to conversation.
Toward annexation or over extending utilities?
No, open to the annexation.
Annexation, yeah,
I mean, there's all kinds of ancillary implications or ramifications to all that.
The expedited type 1 annexation is actually it's quick. If
Yeah.
the petition is filed with all of the components properly, it includes an agreement that is between the petitioner, the village, and the township, and then it's just once that's received, they're all in agreement, and then you would move forward to make a decision. That was not included, so there is no agreement currently between the village, the township, and the petitioner. So that falls it into a regular annexation process where there has to be a hearing so that there can be open discussion about what the plans are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we care because we're just gonna go through the process, but if looking out for the church's interest might be another way, get them there faster and possibly, so, something to at least bring up to their attorney, so he may or may not agree with them, so. Of course, Middlefield may be difficult to work with on that. I just thought I'd ask the question, so, and I find it surprising that the planning commission's not somehow involved in the process, so. Okay, very good. So do we need to move?
I do.
Okay, so move.
Second.
Commissioner Claypool?
Mhm.
Commissioner Spudler?
Okay, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board cancel session Tuesday 11th, 2018 for CCAO conference and reschedule it for the 13th. Need a motion on that?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Claypool?
Mhm.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. And then 10 o'clock, what time is it now?
It's only
Clock is
25
running
actually.
25.
It is. I have 9:33, so
Yeah.
we still have about a half hour, so you could recess until
So
the airport.
the airport is coming in for a work session at 10 o'clock. And any questions?
I see Patty sitting out there, but you can't really start the hearing until the advertised time.
Right.
Well, no, it's just that we had set it on we set
Right.
the time of 10 o'clock, just based on what the agenda was,
At the
because
time.
we anticipated the judge to be
Judge
here.
will be here, yep.
So we technically could move it up. There's no advertisement or anything
Well,
like
Patty's
that
sitting out there. I
requirement,
don't know
so
if
I
there's
don't know if
sitting there.
anybody else
I don't
is
know, I
here.
just see her sitting out there,
I
so.
don't think that Chip is here yet, but I think, what's his name is here,